Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted today to be joined via Zoom by Lucas Ballingall. How are we, mate?
Well, good, thanks, mate. How's yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Where are you
Good,
coming at me
good.
from? Because they look like very hotel-style curtains.
I'm in Wales. I'm in a travel lodge in Wales, sparring. Yeah,
Good stuff, good stuff. Obviously, just 3 weeks out from your English title fight with Myra Mills. Lots to discuss before that.
yep,
I suppose we should go back to last August. Country's in a pandemic, fighters searching for opportunities, and yours comes, of all places, in Belarus.
yeah. Well, exactly. The pandemic it put a stop in a lot of people's careers waiting about the fight, especially us like small hall fighters with no promotional backing and TV platforms. And yeah, basically we got offered to go out and fight in Belarus against a Russian. And we had to take it. Do you know what I mean? That would not fight for a year. We was confident. We went out there and unfortunately didn't go our way.
Yeah, but it's no secret a few lads have gone out there and been stung. Do you know what I mean? I haven't actually
Yeah,
seen your fight, I'll be honest.
yeah.
How did you perform on the night? Do you feel, was you one of the lads who got stung over there? Because I know a couple of Brits did.
To be honest, I could have done more. I was definitely the better boxer. The commentators had me winning it quite clearly. To be honest, I outboxed the lad. He was just a strong. He was a bit of a puncher. He was a strong lad, but I outboxed him. I was definitely the more talented and better boxer in the ring. And maybe I could have worked a bit harder. But to be honest, I probably would have had to knock him out and get the decision. Like the scorecards was ridiculous. Didn't do it the fight justice at all. The scorecards. But it is what it is. I learned from it, and I've got opportunities from the defeat, which I was struggling to get opportunities before that. So if anything, it's helped my career out. So everyone's scared to lose their first fight. Do you know what I mean? I went into the ring scared to lose, not scared to get hurt. I've never ever feared that. And now that fear factor's gone from that. Do you know what I mean? I've been beat. Do you know what I mean? This has made me a stronger fighter now. So.
You feel like it's a weight off the shoulders sort of situation then?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 100%. It can make or break fighters sometimes, a defeat, and it's definitely made me. I feel a lot better, more confident, and I feel like it's just a small little blip in a long, successful career.
Yeah. And what was it like, the actual fighting experience? Because I remember, I think Belarus were the only country in the world whose football league was still going. I don't think they had any rules. I think it was carnage over there. So it must have been, there would have been people there. Was it like one of those moody sort of atmospheres?
But to be honest, it was supposed to be behind closed doors, the show. It was supposed to be behind closed doors, but it was in a shopping mall, the actual show. It was in the food court of the shopping mall as well. They just shoved up these big barriers in the middle of the food court, so no one could see. But the problem is the actual shopping mall was open. So as soon as the shopping mall closed, all the people who were shopping just wandered into the venue. So I was warming up, and these random Russians are just strolling in, sitting down. So it turns out to be a little crowd in there, all Russians. I couldn't turn around and tell them they're not allowed in here. I don't speak the language. So I did end up fighting with a crowd, but yeah, it was interesting.
People roaming ringside with grocery bags and all sorts.
Yeah, honestly, it was so weird. I was warming up. I was doing pads next to a McDonald's. It was proper weird.
Well, look, we roll on from that to May 21st, fight Myra Mills for the English title. Yeah, a bit of a different experience, I suppose. Haven't you been mandatory for about 10 years now?
I know, it's mad. It's been over. It was over 2 years ago. I first got made mandatory. But I've had the most unluckiest career so far. Nothing ever happens good for me. There's always something that ruins it. But he was in. I believe he was when I was first mandatory. He was injured, so we were scheduling other fights. I think that's when we got offered the Archie Sharp fight, what never happened as well through injury, and then I was gonna fight for the southern area while I was mandatory for English, just because I had no other options. Myra Mills was injured, and then when I scheduled another fight, he was not injured anymore, and he scheduled a fight with someone else. So the fight never happened, and it was always him being injured and stuff like that. But now he's not injured, and the fight's going to be made. They took me off mandatory for a bit. I don't know how long it was for, but it was no fault of my own. We wanted the fight, but the fight just couldn't happen. But then I went out in Belarus and got beat, and then got made mandatory again. So like, I can't complain.
You take it. What do you make of Myron as a fighter? He's beaten some good lads. Beat Kane Baker, Marcus French. One loss to Gavin Gwynn, who we saw Gavin Gwynn's win recently. He's a good fighter, Gavin. He's a solid test for you, Myron, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm actually here sparring Gavin Gwynn now. That's what I'm in Wales for. But Myron Mills is a good fighter. He's a good boxer. He's a bit slick, and by his record, he can dig a little bit as well. But I don't care how good he is. I know how good I am. And I know whatever he brings, I will bring more, and I will beat him. So, that's all I care about.
Yeah. And because it's your first title fight, do you feel like this is where your career really starts? Obviously, I know you've had, 14 fights, but this is where Lucas Ballingall really starts his pro career, if you know what I mean.
Oh, definitely. 100%. Like, I've been pro like 6 years now, and I've never actually had a title fight. Like, I'm only 24, but I just feel a lot older. Do you know what I mean? I've been about for so long with no title fights and nothing. I was supposed to box my first title when I was 19. I was supposed to box for the Southern Area title when I was 19. I would have been like the youngest, Southern Area champion at the time or something like that. And then that never happened. And five years down the line, I still ain't boxed for a title. But yeah, 100%. Like, on 21st of May, when I win this bout, that's when I'll announce myself on the scene domestically. So, I'm buzzing. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I know you're not looking beyond this, but the lightweight scene is hot domestically as well. So when you put your name in the mix, you must be looking at people thinking, that's a good fight, that's a good fight. I mean, there's no shit fights around the top 20 guys.
Exactly that. Like, it's a stacked division. And yeah, I just can't wait to get my name out there and be mixing it with these guys. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've gone and sparred a lot of very good fighters over the years. And now it's time for me to start fighting these sort of people. Do you know what I mean? And show how good I am. Because at the moment, I'm just a good gym sparrer. Do you know what I mean? I need to start proving that on the night, and actually show people what we can do actually on the night. So yeah.
Yeah, I said about your career starting here, but if we look at it for a 14 fight pro, you have seen a lot. Like, you fought on a big card with the Eubank Quinlan card, done the small hall rounds, fought abroad, had to pull out with Archie Sharp. Experience-wise, there's not actually much you haven't seen.
Yeah, I know. I have been about and boxed some good shows. Obviously, I boxed abroad in Belarus, boxed in Belfast, boxed on the Eubank undercard, I boxed around. But obviously, a lot of the fights is like small shows selling tickets and stuff. And I'm at a point now where I want to be challenging for titles, like getting purses and stuff like that. I don't want to be having to scrape up ticket sales just to fight. I feel like I've gone past that now. And then definitely winning this bout on the 21st of May, I won't have to worry about stuff like that anymore. Do you know what I mean? The fights will come, the big money fights and stuff that will come after that. So yeah, I'm just buzzing. I just can't wait to get in there.
Yeah. Can we quickly brush over the pull out the Archie Sharp situation?
Yeah.
You were meant to fight in 2019. I even remember you two going head to head. But I suppose what at the time was sort of your big break never came.
Yeah, that was when we got offered that fight. Like, we was like asking for the fight for a while before that, and then when we finally got offered the fight, we was buzzing. Was like, we'll take it. At the time, we was waiting to hear obviously fight at lightweight, and then we got offered the fight at super featherweight, and we was like, we'll take it. Like, spoke to my nutritionist, was like, yeah, we'll make the weight. I was like, sweet, we'll have the fight then. Simple as that. We had a good 10 weeks notice or something like that. So like, the camp was going amazing. Like, I was fit, like my weight was good, like I was strong. Like, I was buzzing, like I was so confident. I was so confident I was going to go in there and beat him. And then we done a press conference, and that was at the Royal Albert Hall, and like, it was a big deal. And like, I was thinking, oh yes, this is where I belong. I need to be places like this. And then, sort of, I don't know, a week or two after the press conference, he pulled out with an injury, and I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted. And at the end of the day, he was injured. It's not his fault. Wow. So like, it is what it is. I'm just being unlucky. But then they said that I'd still box on the show. And I was like, okay, right, I'm not fighting for the WA European title, but at least I'm still be fighting on like this big show, showcasing my skills. And then they pulled me off the show like a week or two after that, saying they wouldn't know not enough space for me now. Obviously because I wasn't a BT fighter or whatever, so they pulled me off the show like I was nothing. But luckily enough, my brother was headlining an MTK show that same weekend, and he managed to speak to his promoter and managers, and got me on the show on his undercard. So the hard work didn't go to waste. I managed to fight, but the worst thing was that I was fighting for this title live on TV on this big occasion, and then I ended up being a float on my brother's undercard. I was in the changing room at 5 p.m. with my gloves on, thinking I was fighting because I got told I was going to be on about 5:30, and they said, no, you're going to be a float now. I didn't end up fighting until like 10:30, 11 at night. I had my gloves on for like 5 hours. Can I fight now? No, got to wait. And it ended up, obviously, my brother's main event. And it got to the main event, and I still ain't fought. And obviously, I wanted to watch my brother. He was in a competitive, like, hard fight. I wanted to watch my brother fight. I walked his bout out to the ring, like with my gloves on. And then I went to warm up. And what I was doing was a 3-minute rounds, a minute break. I was watching the 3-minute round. They're doing a minute on pads. So just so I didn't miss this fight. And as soon as he got his hands raised, I quickly sharpened up on the pads again and boxed straight after him. Literally, as soon as he got out of the ring to do his interview, I was in there about to fight. So it was horrible. It was horrible. Like, all the shine was going to be on me on this big occasion, to like basically just be chucked on last minute on like a little show where I had to like quickly sell some tickets as well to pay, like, to cover the opponent as well. So I've been really unlucky. It's been horrible. But hopefully my luck has changed now, and May 21st is when I start showing what I can do. So yeah.
Yeah, that is such a shit. One of my mates made his pro debut a year and a half ago, and it was in the same situation. I remember seeing him in the gym, 5 and your gloves. Yeah, awful. Is it a bit more of a sickener, the fact that you look at Archie Sharp now, and obviously I remember the confidence you came with. I remember you were adamant, not that you weren't going to be, but you were adamant you was going to beat Archie. You look at Jamal Herring, Cole Frampton before he retired, Shakur Stevenson. He's now linked with guys where there's big money, big titles, TV platforms, and if you would have beaten him, that could have been you. Is that sort of the sickener around it, I suppose?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, if that fight happened, I'll beat Archie Sharp, then yeah, it would have been me in that situation. As long as I kept winning after that. But to be honest, he was ranked high in the WBO at that point anyway. So like, he was probably trying to look at people for that anyway. And with me, it was like high risk, low reward. So with any little injuries like he had at the time, to be honest, I still don't know now what injury it was. It was like, it wasn't worth like fighting me with an injury. Do you know what I mean? Get beaten by me, and like, do you know what I mean? Or beating me with any, like, it don't really change anything. It wouldn't have like put him any higher in the rankings or anything like that. So I can't blame him. Do you know what I mean? He had to do what he had to done. He had to pull out. And to be honest, like, I would never make super featherweight after that. That would have been my last chance of making super featherweight. So to be honest, after beating Archie Sharp, I probably would have stepped up to lightweight anyway. So so everything happens for a reason. So it is what it is. Hope he does well. Hopefully he does get his world title shot, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like you just said, everything for a reason, innit?
Yeah.
Look, let's hope May the 21st does happen. You can fight for your first title and whatnot. I can't not talk about a certain someone. For those who don't know, your brother is Michael McKinson. Obviously, you've been doing your thing alongside him. You've seen his whole journey better than anyone. Did you know growing up that he would like infiltrate the big stage and achieve already what he has, with possibly more to come, possibly world titles in the future, but where he's got to now? Did you know that was possible watching Mikey growing up?
Well, of course, I not always know how talented he was, and even in the amateurs, like, none of us won any national titles. He got to like the finals and stuff like that. I got to the semi-finals, but we never won anything. But he always had close fights and was on the wrong end of decisions against like the top clubs, like the top name clubs and stuff in amateur boxing. You know, it's like an amateur boxing is all like, if you're with a bigger club, be close fight, you're not getting a decision, is how it is. And he was always in fights with that, and everyone knew how good he was. And he was just unlucky because we was from a little club in Portsmouth. That's all it was. I've always known how good he was, and always known he's had the talent. And as a pro, obviously, he ain't put a foot wrong. He's just had to do what everyone has to do, sell tickets, the fight, done it the hard way. And then he finally got his opportunity, and now he's going to be on the big stage. So, yeah, I'm buzzing for him.
Yeah, and obviously signed officially with Matchroom. I know your focus, like I said earlier, is May 21st, but you must have in the back of your mind that, look, Mikey's going to be fighting on big cards. He's now with Matchroom, so he can have a little bit of a say. Fighting on big cards yourself, it must have been something that's crossed your mind.
Oh, of course. It's mad, though, because I was supposed to box my first title before my brother. So, like, and now look, he's got 4, I got none. I don't even box for one. So,
he told me you're the more talented. He said to me yesterday, he said he's going to tell Eddie that he signed the wrong brother. He said to me, people won't realise that you are the more talented brother. Obviously, he's got the trinkets now and he's got the world ranking and that. But when you get to that place, he said people will realise that the more talented brother is yourself.
Well, on May 21st, when I win this bout, then hopefully you can have a word of Eddie for me and sign me up. But until then, yeah, exactly. Like he is the better brother. He's won 4 bouts. I've won nothing. I'm nothing till I start winning bouts, and it's simple as that. So yeah, my time will come. I'll win the bout, and then we'll have 2 champion brothers in Portsmouth. So yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, and the biggest of them all for you boys, Fratton Park.
Oh, that would be lovely. That would be absolutely lovely. That's a dream. Never happened before. That's what we were hoping for. Pompey's got a massive following. And I think Eddie's noticing that now, like all the support Mikey's getting and stuff. And he's a clever man. So I can see that happening. I can see it happening in the future. So yeah, I can't wait.
I love bringing up Fratton Park around Mikey. The enthusiasm he comes with, I love it. If I mention Fratton Park, his eyes just light up. Yeah, Lucas, thanks for jumping on with me. What's the rest of your week, should I say? Obviously, you said you're in Wales sparring. You've been sparring Gavin Gwynn. Yeah, so you there for much longer?
Yeah, it was just a couple of days up here. We sparred him today, sparring tomorrow, and then we're back home in Portsmouth. I've had been doing a lot of rounds of sparring recently, so another spar tomorrow, and then a nice rest day Friday, and and then another week of hard training. I can't wait. I feel great. I feel amazing, and I'm just excited to get in that ring and win that bout. 3 weeks, I just wanted to hurry up. Like honestly, I just feel so good. I just want to get in that ring. So, yeah.
And this is one of the obviously we had Eddie with Fight Camp, and Dennis Hobson done his own little spin-off things. He done the car park show with Tommy Frank. Is this one of them as well?
Yeah, so it's in the car park, but there's spectators, like it's a dinner show.
Oh right, yeah.
So it's got like a massive like a circus tent canopy thing, whatever, over the top of the ring, in the car park. So fans can watch. So it's an outdoor show, but indoors, if you know what I mean. So I'm happy there's fans. Obviously, it's the other end of the country from Portsmouth, but I'm still confident I'll get a lot of support up there to watch me. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm just buzzing. I've got my opportunity now, so I'm going to take it with both hands and win that bout.